video on the new Urban Decay Naked Ultimate Basics, all matte, all naked. Let's talk about this palette for a quick second. It's not gonna be quick, let me tell you that. I have such a weird relationship with this palette. Some days I love it, some days I don't. It's never because of the quality, FYI. I don't ever not like it because of the quality. The quality is there. It's just, it doesn't make my heart stop for a minute or race. You know what I mean? It didn't stop my heart. It doesn't make my heart race. It's a little bit vanilla for me. But isn't that the point of a naked palette? So if you guys are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Dani and my videos are usually pretty long. That's why it's called Coffee Break with Dani, in case you didn't know. Because I don't know how to not talk for a very long time. In fact, Snapchat drives me crazy because how do you say something in 10 seconds? Like, they need to have a special Snapchat for Dani where like I can talk for like 60 seconds at least. It's a little stressful. So let's talk about this palette. As you guys know, Urban Decay kind of made their name in the business because of their naked palettes. The Naked Original, then the Naked 2, then the Naked 3, all the Naked Basics, the Smoky. So their collection of nakedness is pretty extensive. In fact, it even rolled out into foundations, you know, any type of complexion products, concealers, and powders. So it's this principle of looking better naked or neutral, nude. So that you guys could follow along with me, I will have some text annotations throughout the video, and I will also have some information for you in the description box below, along with the link of the product. So for starters, the packaging is quite different from any of the other naked palettes. If you guys have the Naked Basics, the little rectangle ones, I actually don't have those. I had them and I gave them away because I didn't like them. I just never used them. Anyway, long story short, those have like rubberized, almost like NARS packaging. And then if you go to the other naked palettes, they're all very different. The Smoky one has like this acrylic or acetate type product. Then the Naked 3 and the Naked 2 both have a tin. And then the original Naked, which is my #1 favorite palette of all time, just because it's nostalgic for me, has like the soft brown velvet. Let me just show you, I might as well. I already showed you everything else. And this one has like the soft velvet. So this one, actually one of the selling points or the pros of this palette are the size of it. Supposedly people prefer square palettes. And if you guys pay attention to the releases of new products lately, the Kylie palette, the Shan XO palette, the palette that's in the new BoxyCharm, they're all squared shaped boxes. Maybe it is something, maybe it means something, right? So anyway, the skinny on this palette is that it is the one-stop shop for all your nudes, neutrals, and mattes that you're going to need in your entire life. The minute that I opened this palette, I was like, hey, you kind of remind me of that Stila palette. You know which one I'm talking about? I think it's Mind Over Matter or Mind and the Soul, something like that. It's one of their element palettes, I think that's what they're called. It totally reminds me of that. So the packaging on the outside is shiny and really beautiful. It is lightweight. It does come with a double-sided brush. It has the, it's like a packed or like a dense shader brush, and then it has a smudger brush at the end, which is a new thing. This is definitely not something you've seen before. And the brush is shorter than the ones you normally get in these other palettes. I honestly never use the brushes. I try them out to see if they're good enough to keep or throw away, and they're good. But I don't ever really use them after the initial test. So for me with this palette, the formula is amazing. Urban Decay has a special formula. I think it's one of those like proprietary formulas where they own the rights to that formula of eyeshadows, where it's like a velvety smooth texture. It feels hydrating and it's fully opaque with a swipe, right? So the formula of these eyeshadows is awesome. I don't have any trouble with it showing up. I don't have any trouble with it being chalky or patchy or lame. It's really good. My only complaint with it is that it's basic. And that is, I think, the point and the principle of this palette. So if you were, let's say, a beginner that can afford a prestige or high-end product, this is an amazing palette to have so that you could learn the principles of like shading and contouring your eyes. If you're someone that works in a job where you are required to maintain a more professional appearance, this is a perfect daily palette for that. If you are a makeup artist, this is a palette that you must have. This is an essentials palette that you can add to a bunch of other palettes that have the crazy bold colors or the glitters or the colorful bases. So this is a great product. That's a good product that's in addition to something that you may already have if you like color. If you're someone that likes the everyday neutral look for work, for school, you're learning the basics, I don't know, this is a great palette for that. So I don't want you to confuse my lack of enthusiasm like I normally have. My lack of enthusiasm lies in the fact that I normally prefer colorful shades. Like that's just my style. I love purple eyeshadow and green eyeshadow and blue and I just love color, right? So my lack of enthusiasm lies there. Is it a great palette? Yes. Is the formula amazing? Yes. Is it awesome? Absolutely. Is the packaging pretty? Totally. Do you need it in your collection? Do we need anything else in our collections? Really? I mean, if we're honest to ourselves and we're die-hard YouTubers, like watchers, I don't consider myself a YouTuber for you. I consider myself a watcher as well, like a spectator. I watch YouTube just like you guys. And so, do I think you need it in your collection? Probably not. So let's talk a little bit about the pros of the palette. So a pro would be the shape, the size, the beautiful packaging, the fact that it has an enormous, enormous mirror, the fact that the brush that it comes with is really nice, it's functional, it works, it's not bad quality. The shadows, the formula is amazing. The pigment is great. I'm actually wearing it today as my look, and I did use it yesterday as well for a get ready with me for my Spanish channel, which I will link in the description box below. One really important thing to mention is that all the shades in this palette are exclusive to this palette. So there were never before seen shades to Urban Decay. They created these 12 specific shades to create this palette. So definitely for pros, you want to say that it's Urban Decay formula. I think a lot of times with Urban Decay palettes, like compilation palettes, especially the Vice palettes, the quality does downgrade a little bit. Not enough where I wouldn't purchase it, but enough where it's noticeable. With this one, you don't get that. With this, you get that creamy, buttery, velvet texture of matte shadows. Like I told you guys, there are 12 shadows. Only one of them is like a satin finish, and that's this one right here. It's actually considered, and this is what I find very strange, it's actually considered an all matte palette, and this is a demi matte shadow. I'm sorry, but this color right here is a satin shadow. It's really satin. It really illuminates. I would say they're just trying to force it to be an all matte palette, but I mean, who really cares? It's the highlight shade, and it's a beautiful highlight. I could definitely see myself using this a lot. So all in all, the pros are amazing. There's definitely more pros and cons. One con that kind of bothers me a little bit is, and I even have notes for you guys, when it comes down to these palettes and you really want to break it down, like you really want the details of what's going on. So if you were to get a naked palette, okay, a naked palette is $54 and it has 12 eyeshadows, right? The total amount of weight for this palette is 0.6 ounces. I'm looking at my notes. 0.6 ounces. That means that each of these shadow pots is $4.50 for the naked palettes, the big ones. When you go into the little basics palettes, the ones that only have 6 pans, those are $29. They have 6 shades, and it has a total weight of 0.3 ounces, which it makes sense, right? 0.6, 0.3 ounces, but the price breakdown is a little bit different. Instead of $4.50 a shadow, it's going to be $4.83 a shadow. So you're paying a little bit more of a price for a smaller palette. Now, let me make it even more interesting. When it comes to this palette here, it has 12 eyeshadows, so it's like double, like 2 little basic palettes, right? But the total weight of this palette is 0.48 ounces. Do you guys remember this one was 0.6? 0.6, 0.48. They're both $54. They both have 12 colors. but they don't both have the same amount of product. So you're still paying $4.50 a shadow on this one, but you're only getting 0.48 ounces versus the 0.6. Is it a big deal in the grand scheme of things? Probably not, because if we were to break down the cost per shadow, per weight, of all the palettes that we own, there would be a really wide spectrum of prices and ranges, right? So it's just gonna come down to, do you need a neutral palette? Do you like Urban Decay's formula? Are you a collector? Are you a fan of the Naked palettes? It's gonna come down to, are you a fan? You know what I'm saying? Or are you a beginner? Do you not have a Naked palette yet? Then you want one. You know, do you have mature eyelids or hooded eyes and you do not like shimmers or glitters or any sort of metallic shadow? If you don't like any of that, but you do like eyeshadow, you want to reach for something that's all matte. So this might benefit someone with like hooded eyelids, mature eyelids, someone that's like, you know, I'm not about that crazy clown Dani life. So is it worth the hype? I say yes, but no. It is worth the hype because it is a great palette, but all in all, I feel like Urban Decay was a little bit late on the all matte palette. They got ready way too late. They showed up at the party and everyone's already like drunk or leaving. That's kind of how I feel happened with this palette. Kat Von D had the Ladybird palette that's all matte years ago, right? What, like 2 or 3 years ago? It's been a while. I mean, it's discontinued now, but she was on the all matte palette a long time ago. So I feel like Urban Decay almost dropped the ball on creating an extensive all matte palette. They did the basics palettes, but like I said, if you're a fan of Urban Decay, they can do no wrong. And I'm a fan of Urban Decay, so you didn't do no wrong. Anyway, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. All of the information regarding this palette will be listed in the description box below, along with what I'm wearing, the color of my lips, all of that stuff will be listed in the description box below. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And like always, if you found this video useful, entertaining, or learned something, good kiss. Monday. Hi. Monday. You want to say hi? This kid has been wanting to say hi to you guys in every single video. Oye, dile sola. Sí, dile sola. Don't lick mommy. Don't lick mommy. Can you say? If you found this video useful, entertaining, or learned something, please give us a paw up. Or subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, this coffee break is over. Say bye. Say bye. Bye, guys.